Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. Welcome if you're new here. Welcome back if you're returning. It is my Thursday, and I am grateful the week is winding down. I spontaneously decided yesterday that I needed to let my immediate supervisor know that I am in burnout. So I emailed him and asked him if we could have a meeting so that I could let him know where I'm at. And I just laid it out for him, how I feel about the culture. He feels the same way. He is not the same person who berated my coworker, by the way. That was a different person, not the boss of our department. The boss of our department is a wonderful human being, and I told him as much yesterday. I told him that he is my favorite boss that I've ever had, and that is true. Because I totally felt comfortable asking him for a meeting and then telling him, look, my life is falling apart. I have too much on my plate. It's too stressful, and I every new thing at work, just I'm on the verge of tears, and I almost started crying while I was talking to him. So that felt really good, and I know he's going to try to work with me to make my workload more definitely jobs that I can handle. And he knew that I wanted to start coming in earlier, so he said, why don't you just start doing that, try an hour earlier, because there are fewer people there in the morning, so I get more quiet time. So I am getting ready an hour earlier than I usually do. You can see out my window that it is still dark out. It is currently 4:30 a.m. My alarm started going off at 3. I had snoozed a couple times, and then did a breath work with Sandy. Then fed the dog, went out and checked on my chicken, got dressed, made some coffee, and now here I am with you. I also made the mistake of looking at my email, and I got an email from my homeowner's insurance thanking me for filling out their survey, site survey basically, and they have evaluated the total replacement cost of my home to be a lot. So I have a feeling that my homeowner's insurance, I have to call them today, is about to rise significantly. The value of my home has risen significantly since I inherited it. I will have to pull down my old records and look, but I'm pretty sure the first year that I had my home, the county evaluation card I got in the mail had it at $145,000 or something, and now I think the county values it at over $6, and my insurance company values the replacement cost at even higher, which might be good since I want to sell it. But I mean, it's also why I want to sell it, because I my property taxes have I think, at least tripled since I inherited the house, and other costs have risen, and my income has not tripled. In fact, it has decreased due to the fact that I no longer have a partner, so I don't have I'm not sharing my expenses with anyone. Yeah. So, yeah. I am being priced out of a home that I should own outright, and that seems insane to me, that can even happen, but here we are. I am so glad I did not have children. The way we've set things up just don't make any sense to me at all, and I don't know how to handle it myself. I would not feel at all prepared to help a new life figure out how to navigate the world and set themselves up for success. So I once again feel like the most loving thing I did was not have them. Which is crazy, because life can be amazing, but we've just set it up to be so ridiculously difficult. And like, even on a smaller scale, I feel like the company I work for makes things way more difficult and complicated than they need to be. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's like we're gluttons for punishment, as my mom likes to say. Gluttons for punishment. We crave punishment. Is that just here in the US? Is it our puritanical roots, like self-flagellation or something? What is this? But I watched a Martha Beck Bewildered podcast episode yesterday after I got home from work, and I will share it here. She and her partner Ro are talking, and Martha has pretty severe ADHD. I think she's also ADHD, and apparently she's just like always like out in the woods watching bugs and following her joy and stuff, and she has like all these speaking engagements and interviews and stuff, and she loses track of time, and even if she sets tons of alarms for herself, she might just ignore them, like turn it off, and then forget a second later that her alarm just went off. And she has all these people around her that start texting and calling her like 30 minutes before her appointments. And often, I think she like sees the text but doesn't respond. And then she like shows up like a minute before she's supposed to go live with like leaves in her hair and stuff. And it was like the funniest conversation, and I was just dying laughing. And I was like, that kind of freedom is what I crave too, even if it does drive people bananas around me. And so I saved it to my playlist, so that I can share it with you guys. I'll put it in the description down below. But I was just rolling. So funny. Yeah. Freedom. I have a feeling that things are going to get really difficult before they get easier, though. Like, figuring out where I'm going to live after I sell my house, and I do need to live somewhere before the house isn't going to sell immediately, probably. So I'm going to have a cheap place to live while I wait for it to sell and wait for that money to come in. And then I'm also going to need to have an address while I work on getting my driver's license reinstated. And I don't know what all that's going to entail. And then I may have to rehome my dog. I keep thinking that I'm going to have to. And I keep wondering, like, in The Artist's Way, which I've read several times and I've mentioned several times, Julia Cameron always talks about how when you take one step forward, the universe takes 10 steps towards you. And I swear that it feels like I take one step forward and silence. Or even worse, the universe takes 10 steps away from me. But yeah, like, since I've made this decision and I've been talking about it, I've been talking about it here. I told my friend that I went to the air show with. I told my boss yesterday that I want to sell my house. And right now my plan is to get a live-in van, like a camper van, and do van life for a while. But no amazing opportunities like for temporary living are spontaneously popping up. Like no friends that are looking for partially trained, delightful personality pitmakes are popping up. So I don't know. Like it feels like this might be a slog. It feels like I might have to do everything myself, and I really hope that's not the case. I hope that there's just a delay at the moment, and like the universal help will start to come in soon. And it didn't happen with when I ended my marriage and my friendships either. In the past, when I've ended relationships, new friendships have like come in almost immediately. But this time, it's been really hard to meet people. Well, and this is the first time I'm doing it without drinking, so that might be part of it. I'm going out less. I don't have the social lubricant of alcohol anymore. So that's probably a fair amount of it. But still, the universe is an incredible place, and I believe it could conspire to introduce me to people if it wanted to. Through work, through my bus rides, through the events I do go to. It's not like the universe has had no opportunities to introduce me to people. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm in limbo at the moment. It's a little bit scary, but I am positive now that the EFT tapping is working. I've been doing at least one session a day on various subjects. If you just do a search for what ails you on YouTube, I'm sure that you can get a video that's at least close. And then you can always change the words too. You don't have to follow your guide exactly. But I feel like significantly calmer than I have even last week. My heart is racing less. I feel less like clenched up in my body. So I think the EFT is definitely helping me go through this with more equanimity than would otherwise be possible, which is great because this is really fucking stressful. It is terrifying. Yeah, it's absolutely terrifying. I'm preparing to get rid of everything with no plan. And I'm just trusting myself and the universe to figure it out one step at a time. I probably won't die. No guarantees, though. No guarantees. All right. Again, I think that's all I have to say. So I'm going to pull a Natalie Goldberg card. Been remembering every day for several days now. Awesome. For a writing prompt. We are on card number 13. Write about arriving someplace late. A dinner, a job interview, a medical exam, your aunt's funeral. And on the back, we are haunted by time. At the same moment, duration exists. The hugeness of the sky, the movement of autumn or spring, the aging of a pear or a banana, the ripening of love. These cannot be measured by the demands of a clock. Can you write about being late, how painful it was to disappoint someone or blow an appointment? See where your mind takes you. Don't have preconceived ideas about what you should write. Being late, you might discover, was your one strike for humanity, the arena that cracked you open. You don't ever remember being late? How come? Write about that. Explore your punctuality. I am one of those people. I was raised that if you're not 5 to 10 minutes early, you are late. I believe my parents had that belief. I think most of my schools had that belief. I've had jobs that definitely had that belief. Why they think that they can tell me to be there 5 minutes before I'm allowed to clock in, you don't get to know. If you're not paying me for that 5 minutes, then you don't get to tell me to be there. The audacity, I tell you. But yeah, I know I have a mind similar to Martha Beck's, but my anxiety about upsetting people and being a burden on people makes me prepare for things far in advance. So if I have an appointment, the whole day is shot. I am constantly looking at the clock, trying to make sure that I'm not going to be late. And I set alarms. If I set an appointment for far in the future, I set an alarm for the day before, or sometimes I'll set it for 2 weeks before so I can make sure that I have the day off. I have time to request it off if I haven't done that already. And then 2 hours before. So pretty much no matter where I am or what state I'm in, I can get ready and get there and still be on time. But my brain won't just it cannot focus on anything else if I have an appointment. And I mean, even work, part of the reason I like waking up so early is so that I have a couple hours to get everything done that I want to get done while my brain is fresh, because my brain is mush when I get home from work, before going to work. And I try to keep a pretty solid routine so that it's easier to remember to do everything that I need and want to do. And I'm less likely to forget it if I have a stable routine. So I set up like all these systems so that I don't pull a Martha Beck, because if I don't put it in my calendar, it's not happening. And if I don't put reminders in, it's absolutely not happening. I will completely forget it until probably a week later. And I'm like, oh, was that? So yeah. Okay, I think that's all I've got, and my brain is just like misfiring, like pop, 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 but nothing's happening. It's like a bowl of Rice Krispies up in there. So, on that note, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be wealthy, may you feel at ease, and may you accept yourself exactly as you are, even if you feel none of those things currently. I love you so much. Subscribe, and I will see you next time. Okay? Bye-bye.